My name is Ajit Kumbhare. I'm a founder and CEO at Fresh Gravity. We are a technology consulting company based in San Francisco Bay Area, and we focus on helping enterprises with their digital transformation efforts.
My name is Vivek Karnik. I'm a Managing Director of Client Success and Delivery for Fresh Gravity, a company that deals with systems implementation work and helps companies with their transformation of their digital customer experiences.
I think one of the key trends that is emerging, regardless of which industry you're talking about, is how enterprises are now looking beyond the four walls of enterprise data, where data to them is not just the data that they own or their transactional data, but also the data that may be available outside the enterprises. And that could be data related to social media, data related to consumers and enterprises and various sources of data, and including third-party data sources, and all of unstructured, structured information that lies outside of the enterprises. So it is becoming more and more important for data platforms to be able to scale and also have ability to store that structured data, unstructured data, and ability to interrelate those data assets. One of the critical need in the industry is first of all, have the right data, the master data, but what is important is making that data available to the right people at the right time and with the right insights. And in order to do that, you require a very comprehensive data platform that can not only ingest information or data, but also consolidate it, have data quality on it, and also have ability to make that data available through an intuitive user interface. The other thing that we are seeing is you have the data, and that's just sort of a prerequisite, but how do you interrelate those data? For example, in the pharma industry or life sciences industry, affiliations are very critical, how HCPs are affiliated with HCOs and some of those. So that interrelationship and intricacies around data is also becoming very, very critical. And traditional MDM typically has the master data, but is not able to sort of interrelate those different data assets in a way where you can derive some useful relationships.
We have a customer that right now is embarking on an MDM journey, and they are using Reltio primarily for mastering their account information, their product information, as well as their talent information. So the beauty of what they're using Reltio for is with all these three different domains of entities, they are using a single application that can master all of this information. On top of that, they're looking to actually implement or also include transactional information for their customer interactions with them. So the power that they have right now is in one single application, they're able to get relationships between all these different entities, look at analytics across the different entities, and look at relationships between them. One of the big business goals for this particular implementation of this customer we have is they have currently a plethora of applications. They have an ERP system. They've got 3 different systems that manage their HR information. They've got a CRM system. And all these are cloud-based solutions but do not speak with each other. And by virtue of which their HR folks, for example, end up using 2 different applications as a part of their day-to-day job. With Reltio, the intent is to pull all this information to a common platform and have the HR people be able to do all their work within the Reltio model, as well as their customer service people and their sales folks working off the very same data set. And that's what their objective is. So it's simplification, unification of data across different systems, and therefore bringing value to their own internal system users.
Reltio is a true 360-degree view platform for entity like customers and products, and you can really have a sales view of the customer, the service view of the customer, the product view of the customer, and it is all done in a very uniform, consolidated way, which helps the customers look at your customers and understand everything, every interaction, every transaction that you had with that customer. So once you've done the mastering and consolidation of all different data sets, Reltio has the ability to present that information in a very intuitive and easy to understand graphic and UI for end users. and it does it such a way that it becomes very intuitive for the business users. User is able to understand the complete 360 view and is able to also change, update data right from that one screen where you see all this information.
One of the big advantages Reltio brings to the marketplace is a very open data model, right? There's not constraint. And that gives a customer the ability to aggregate multiple types of information in a single system, right? So from a cost of ownership, they're not dealing with 3 different platforms or 3 different entities. It's one single platform. It's a very big advantage. The other advantage they had, or they saw with Reltio, was the visualization. The power of the graphical model interface that they have, or the graph model, is where you can see 3 different entities and their relationships. If you also have transactional data, you can drill down into a given entity and look at transactions for that particular person or that particular customer. And then you can see how those transactions for one customer may correlate to the transactions for a second customer. That visualization was probably the biggest advantage that they had and they saw with Reltio. The Reltio UI is an extremely simple UI to use and feel, right? So basically the clients, we spent about 4 or 5 days with 4 users in showing them how to configure and how to use the application. How do you drill down? How do you view graphical relationships? How do you use the matching engine? How do you unmerge? How do you merge? Today, they don't really have any questions for us. They're able to manage their day-to-day job very, very easily. What they do like about the UI is, first of all, the graphical interface that you have, which shows them in a graph model, the relationships between their different employees, beneficiaries, health plans, etc. But they also like the simple facet layout, which breaks the screen up into very logical modules and logical areas, showing the relationships between the entities, between the different data elements. And those are some of the pieces that they have really enjoyed.
We always advise our customers to start with the basics. Start with your business needs, start with your business processes, understand the data ownership, the data governance and policies. So it is very important for an enterprise to look at these things before they embark on the journey. And given the fact that Reltio is highly flexible because of its cloud architecture and big data architecture, there is no need to really worry about whether this data model will support my needs or whether this will scale to my volume of data.
From an MDM implementation standpoint, I think the very first thing that you, as an organization, wants to do, especially when they're going through a greenfield implementation, is to get in place their data management practices. And that involves identifying the right set of data owners for different kinds of data, identifying who the authors of that data should be and who should not be, what some of the best practices around managing the data should be, policies for the organization, right? Until you have that part in place, no technology can help fill that gap.
So because of our strong partnership with Reltio, we are able to not only build solid expertise in the product and the best practices in the product, but also we contribute in bringing what the customers need and what their challenges are, what their needs are, what kind of features that they are asking for, and then bridge the gap between the customer and Reltio as a enterprise data platform.